Los Angeles, 1969. A city on the cusp of change, yet mired in turmoil. The streets simmered with unrest, a palpable tension hanging in the air. A pressure cooker of poverty, racial tension, and shattered dreams where hope seemed a distant memory. From this cauldron of despair, the Crips emerged not as heroes but as a stark reflection of the city's inner turmoil. Not as saviors, but as a symptom of a city tearing itself apart piece by piece. Raymond Washington and Stanley Tookie Williams, two names forever etched in the city's tumultuous history. Teenagers who, instead of finding hope, forged a brotherhood in rage and defiance. The Crips, they called themselves, a name that would soon become infamous. A force born of desperation, fueled by anger and a sense of abandonment. Their early days were marked by petty crime, turf wars with rival gangs, and a growing reputation. But the violence escalated with terrifying speed, spiraling out of control. Drive-bys, robberies, and brutal beatings became their calling card, a grim signature of their presence. Fear seeped through the streets, a chilling premonition of the darkness to come, casting long shadows. The Crips offered a twisted sense of belonging, a surrogate family in a world that had abandoned them, providing a place to belong. But this brotherhood came at a steep price: loyalty, violence, and often death, a heavy toll for those who joined. The streets of Los Angeles were stained with the blood of their victims, each drop a testament to a city on the brink, teetering on the edge of chaos. The Crips' reign of terror wasn't confined to Los Angeles. Like a virus, their influence spread. City by city, state by state, the blue bandanas, their symbol of defiance, appeared across the nation. The allure of power, money, and notoriety proved irresistible. Young men, lost and angry, were drawn to the Crips' brutal embrace. They saw the gang as a way out, a path to respect and wealth. They didn't see the dead ends, the prison cells, the early graves. With expansion came fragmentation. Factions formed, each vying for control of territory and drug trade. Internal strife erupted, adding to the body count. The Crips, once a unified force, became a hydra, its many heads locked in a deadly struggle. The nation watched in horror as the Crips' grip tightened. From the streets of Los Angeles, they had metastasized into a national crisis, a stark reminder of the deep-seated societal issues that fueled their rise. The Crips, despite their outward appearance of chaos, adhered to a loose but effective structure. Sets, individual factions with their own hierarchy and territory, formed the backbone of the organization. Each set operated like a mini-kingdom, fiercely protective of its turf and income. At the bottom were the foot soldiers, young and expendable, eager to prove their loyalty through violence. Above them rose the OGs, older, hardened criminals who commanded respect and fear. Communication within the sets was a mixture of street slang, hand signals, and an unspoken code of silence. Loyalty was paramount, betrayal punishable by death. The fear of reprisal kept many silent, even when facing overwhelming odds. This decentralized structure made it difficult for law enforcement to dismantle the Crips. Taking down one set only created a vacuum, quickly filled by another, eager to claim the spoils. The web of sets, interconnected and fiercely independent, proved to be a formidable opponent. The Crips' primary source of income was drug trafficking. Crack cocaine, with its cheap high and devastating effects, flooded the streets, leaving a trail of addiction and despair. Turf wars over drug corners were commonplace, often erupting in brutal violence. But their criminal activities extended far beyond narcotics. Robbery, extortion, and murder became their tools of the trade. Innocent bystanders were often caught in the crossfire, their lives shattered by the gang's callous disregard for human life. The violence was cyclical, fueled by revenge and the constant need to assert dominance. Retaliation for one shooting led to another, perpetuating a cycle of brutality that seemed to have no end. The streets became battlegrounds, the air thick with the stench of fear and death. The Crips' reign of terror left an indelible mark on communities across America. Families were torn apart, neighborhoods ravaged by violence. The human cost of their criminal enterprise was immeasurable, a stark reminder of the devastating impact of gang activity. The Crips cultivated a distinct identity, a potent mix of defiance and despair, born from the harsh realities of their environment. The color blue, once associated with peace and tranquility, became their banner, a symbol of their gang's dominance and unity. Blue bandanas worn proudly and visibly served as a constant reminder of their allegiance and their shared struggles. Their language, a blend of street slang and coded phrases, set them apart from the outside world, creating an exclusive community. It was a way to communicate, to intimidate, and to maintain their sense of belonging and identity within the gang. Outsiders struggled to decipher their words, adding to the aura of mystery and menace that surrounded them. The Code of Silence, a sacred pact amongst members, protected them from law enforcement and rival gangs, ensuring loyalty. Snitches get stitches wasn't just a saying, it was a way of life, a rule that governed their interactions. The fear of retribution kept many silent, even when facing lengthy prison sentences or severe consequences. This culture of silence, deeply ingrained within the gang, perpetuated the cycle of violence and secrecy. It shielded them from justice and allowed them to operate with impunity, evading the law's reach. Breaking this code was often the first step towards redemption, but it came at a heavy price: the loss of their identity, their protection, and often their life, leaving them vulnerable and isolated. Law enforcement agencies across the country found themselves outmatched and outgunned in their early confrontations with the Crips. The gang's decentralized structure, coupled with the Code of Silence, made traditional investigative techniques ineffective. As the body count rose, so too did the pressure to act. Task forces were formed, dedicated to dismantling the Crips and stemming the tide of violence. Undercover operations aimed at infiltrating the gang's ranks were met with mixed success, often at a high cost. Mass arrests, while effective in the short term, did little to address the root causes of gang violence. Prisons became breeding grounds for recruitment, hardening young offenders and fostering deeper gang alliances. The battle against the Crips became a war of attrition, a constant struggle to contain their influence and protect communities. It was a war fought on multiple fronts, in the streets, in the courts, and in the hearts and minds of those at risk of being drawn into the gang's web. The Crips' impact on American society extended far beyond the grim statistics of crime and incarceration. Their presence cast a long shadow, leaving communities traumatized and fearful. Children grew up amidst the violence, desensitized to the sound of gunshots and the sight of blood. Schools became battlegrounds for recruitment, young minds susceptible to the allure of power and belonging. The cycle of poverty, lack of opportunity, and gang involvement became tragically intertwined. The emotional toll on families torn apart by gang violence was immeasurable. Mothers buried their sons, sisters mourned their brothers, and children grew up fatherless, haunted by the ghosts of their loved ones. The Crips' legacy was one of pain, loss, and shattered dreams. Their existence served as a stark reminder of the societal ills that plagued America, a call to action to address the root causes of gang violence and offer hope to those trapped in its grip. Breaking the cycle of gang violence is a daunting task, one that requires a multifaceted approach, involving various stakeholders and strategies, and an unwavering commitment to change. Law enforcement, community leaders, and former gang members have joined forces, recognizing that only through collaboration and mutual understanding can they hope to make a significant difference. Intervention programs, aimed at steering at-risk youth away from gangs, offer a glimmer of hope. These initiatives focus on providing guidance and support to young individuals who are vulnerable to gang influence. These programs provide counseling, job training, and educational opportunities, giving young people a viable alternative to the streets. By equipping them with skills and knowledge, they are empowered to pursue a brighter future. Rehabilitation programs designed to help former gang members reintegrate into society play a crucial role in breaking the cycle of violence. These programs focus on healing and personal growth. These programs offer therapy, job placement assistance, and support networks, providing individuals with the tools they need to turn their lives around. By fostering a sense of community and belonging, they help former gang members rebuild their lives. The fight against gang violence is far from over, but there is hope. Every small victory counts, and every life turned around is a step towards a safer community. By addressing the root causes of gang involvement, providing at-risk youth with viable alternatives, and offering former gang members a path to redemption, we can create a future where the streets are safe and the cycle of violence is broken. Together, we can build a community where hope thrives and peace prevails.